Okay, so let's set up your data folders. The first thing you need to do is, when you open them, is put all of these metal pieces up like this. And then you take all of your data sheets. They should all be 3-hole punched. And then you place them. So this is the front of the data sheet. So you kind of want to put them all on the back and place them in here. So these metal, I don't know what they're called, but there are 2 of them in here. So if you kind of look, let me take it out. So there are kind of 2 metal pieces here. So you want to make sure that they're together for now, and then place your data sheets, the front side down, the back side up like this. And then you want to take this part and place that on top. Okay. And then you separate the 2 metal parts like this. So the data sheets are really in there. They can't fall out. See that? And then you flip it back. And this is the front of it. So now let's go over how you are going to keep track of your data. So let's say you have to take an assessment that's August through May, and your teacher tells you your score is 2,150, or you see on your computer screen that your score is 2,150. So you would shade in where it says 2,150, and you will write that above it, 2,150, so you know your score. So shade it and write it down. And then shade it all the way down till it says August. So this is a bar graph. So you're going to see a bunch of different bars shaded in according to your scores. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you want to shade it in so it looks like a bar graph, and write your score at the top. So let's say then in September, your score was 2,215, right? So that's not on here. 2,215 is not on there, but it is in between 2,210 and 2,230. So you're gonna go right in between those numbers, and you're gonna write your score. Actually, let me use a darker coloring pencil. So you want to use crayons or coloring pencils to shade this in. If you use marker, it's going to leak through, so don't use a marker. But let's say, what was your score? 2,215. Okay, write it above your bar, and then you shade it all the way. This way, you will be able to see all your scores and your growth. So then in October, you want to use either orange or a different coloring pencil so they don't all kind of blend in. So let's say in October, your score was 2,270. You would write that up there and then shade it in. You want to do that for every single month. On this next data tracker, this is for the tests that you take in the fall, winter, and spring. And let's say in the fall, it's kind of like your pre-test. This is just to see where you are at. And let's say your score was 195. You would write that down, and then you would reflect what my fall score was 195. And this is for math, and then you would do the same thing for reading. But my fall score was 195. My goal score for winter is, let's say it's 200. I will achieve this goal by, so here you want to write down what are you going to do to achieve your goal. So let's say you're going to practice. So I will achieve this goal by practicing my multiplication skills at home. My multiplication skills at home. Or maybe you're going to practice in school, or maybe you're going to practice something else. This is what you need to work on. And then let's say you take the test again, you take it in the winter, and then whatever your score is, you would write that down over here. So let's say your score was a 205, you would write that on there. And then you would repeat the same thing for your reading class. Okay. The next one is a conference sheet. So this is a reading conference sheet, but yours might be a math conference sheet or a science conference sheet. And this is where you and your teacher have your meetings, where you meet one-on-one and you discuss your strengths and you discuss your goals for and your next steps. So maybe you and your teacher had a meeting on August 25th and you discussed what your strengths are in reading or in math. Let's say in math your strengths are, multiplication. You're good at multiplying two-digit numbers, or maybe in reading you're really good at spelling. So you want to write that down here. And then you're going to write down what your next steps are. You and your teacher are going to discuss what you should do next, what you need to improve on. So maybe in math you need to improve on dividing two-digit numbers. So you would write that on here. Or maybe you need to improve on writing complete sentences. Whatever your goals are for that subject. And then on this one, again, this might be math, science, or reading. And then you would write you would keep track of your test scores or your unit assessments. So let's say in the first test you scored a 70%. Again, you would just write 70% up here and shade that all the way down. Doesn't need to be perfect, but it does need to look like a bar graph. And then you would write down your strengths. What did you do really well on this test? Okay, maybe you scored really good in a finding area. You would write that down, finding area. And what are your next steps at school? What do you need to practice at school to do better on the next test? Maybe you need to practice finding the perimeter of a rectangle, so you will write that down. And what are you going to practice at home? Maybe you're going to watch some videos at home on finding perimeter, or maybe you're going to practice with your parents or your siblings. So you would write that down on there. Make sure you keep really good care of your data folder. Your teacher might also give you sheet protectors. You would put these in the same way. So you would have to open it up, or if you have to add more data sheets to this folder, you would put these, kind of combine them together like this, and then open it up, boop, boop, like that, and then you would just add on to it. You would just add either a sheet protector, or you would put more data sheets in there, and then you would close it back up. And separate them so it's in there. Wait, did I miss one? Oh yeah, I missed one, see? Don't be like me. Need both of them like that, and then separate them. It's really in there. And then you can add some sheets in there at the top.